Good evening. What's happening? It's Money Mondays, and we are back. Don't forget, like I said, my wife and I are teaching a money series for 4 weeks at Harvest Methodist Church. No, I'm sorry, not I'm tripping. At shoot, not Harvest Methodist Church. Babe, what's the name of the church? Harvest Exodus, not Harvest Methodist. I don't know why Methodist came to my mind, but it's called Harvest Exodus Church. That's actually the church that we attend. And again, like last week, if you want to come out, DM me and I'll shoot you the address. But 4 week series that we're doing this past Sunday was awesome. What we talked about. Also, we have a new fund, a new partnership fund that doubles your money over 12 months. And DM me if you want to know more about that and partner with us on some of our new endeavors. It's exciting what the fund is doing, Cornerstone Group Financial. We own real estate, we own semi trucks, we own cash flowing businesses. We're about to purchase a new business over on Racetrack Road. It's a sports center. My son really wants to head that up, so we're excited about that. And then we also do some lending. If you have a 680 or better credit score, we can get you funding in a more traditional sense. And if you have some assets to back you, we'll do some hard money lending as well. So anyhow, last week we were talking about making money easy. That's the name of the course that we're going over right now. Normally it costs money, but I'm doing it here online for free. Just want to be a blessing to you guys. We talked about the three talents, the three skills that you need to make more money. That's what we're talking about. Nothing else right now. Making more money from an investor standpoint or business owner. And remember what we talked about. Being a business owner, you are an investor. If you are a business owner, you are an investor. And if you don't think like an investor, typically businesses fail when the owner doesn't think like an investor. So first of all, you have to believe that you deserve more money. You have to believe that you deserve more money. And when I say deserve it, it's because you earned it, not because you got on Facebook and begged people to do business with you. Excuse me, guys. So number one, believe that you deserve it. Talked a lot about that last week. Go watch it. Know how to market who you are, in quotations, your value effectively and consistently. We talked about that last week. Go check it out. And the ability to negotiate more pay, to up what you're asking for, how to do it and why you should do it. Talked a lot about that last week. Go check it out. Anyways, to move forward. So first, like I said, first three skills you need, you deserve it. Belief is a skill. Some people just don't know how to believe for better. It's a skill. You have to hone that skill. I am a belief type of person. I have practiced believing the best. I believe the best about people. I believe the best about life. I practice that. Belief is a skill you must practice. Knowing how to market yourself, it's a skill you must practice. It has nothing to do with Facebook ads. Marketing you first starts with the words that comes out of your mouth and how you present yourself, how you dress, how you shake hands, how you walk, how you stand. All those things are the first steps to knowing how to market yourself. And then the thirdly, the ability to negotiate more pay, to ask for more pay, to spend time becoming someone who can effectively ask for more pay. Why spend time chasing $100 when you can spend that same amount of time chasing $1,000? Why spend time chasing $1,000 when you can spend the same amount of time chasing $10,000? Again, I talked a lot about that, but negotiating more pay is something you must learn the skill set for. Now, no matter what area of business you're in, no matter what area of investing you're in, these skills apply. I promise you they do. They're across the board. Go look at last week, and no matter what area you're in, if you believe, if you know how to market you, and if you have the ability to ask for more money, you will be successful. It works no matter what industry you're in. Now, just because you're talented doesn't mean you're going to make more money. I know a lot of people who are talented and they're broke. I know a lot of people with a great product for sale and they are broke. There are millions and millions of talented people who are underpaid, who are not making the kind of money they need to make. The reality is nobody's just going to hand you more money because you're good, or because you're nice, or because you're kind. Um, it just doesn't happen. I tell my wife often, just because you say, "Hey, I have a widget for sale," and that widget is awesome, 90% of people are not going to say, "Oh, yeah, let me give you my money." It's a lot more skill than that is necessary. Um, you need those three skills that I talked about to earn more money, and or you're going to spend a lifetime being underpaid and making less than what you deserve to make. Uh, Now, I want you to have better control and understand your emotional connections to money. Understand that you can never let money influence your thinking or behavior. So when I say have better control and understanding of your emotions, your emotional connection to money, I see people who let their countenance rise and fall with money. When you have money, you behave happy. When you don't have money, you behave sad. Your attitude, your demeanor, your joy should not rise and fall with how much money you have. If that's happening, you're too connected to money in an emotional way, and you're going to continue to fail. You can't do it. I can tell you, no matter how, and I've had horrible months. I'm so sure I had a horrible half a year and it feels crappy. But I promise you, you'll never feel the desperation of, I need a sale now on me. You'll never feel the money is so tight that I stop giving. Money is so tight that I stop being kind to other people. You'll never feel that on me. I have worked and worked and worked, and thanks to my spiritual father, Pastor Mike, um, working with him over the years, I don't let my emotions connect to my money. So when I'm up, I'm just as happy as when I'm down financially. And so once we're done with this whole thing, you'll have a better control of your emotions and connections to money. And I want you to understand uh, your connections and emotional stuff toward money. And when I say understand, I know that when I was young, we were taught don't talk about money. So that's kind of where it came from. We were taught don't talk about money. It's nobody's business how much money you have or make. Money was this feared thing. Where I come from, they didn't believe we could be wealthy. I used to hear things like, Joseph, what you're talking about, it only happens on TV. It's not real. I even heard people tell me as a young man, when I would talk big about my life and about being a millionaire or being very successful, traveling in private jets and yachts and things of that nature, I used to hear people say that's only for white folks. I heard that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of young black people at times that hear that. So understanding where your emotional connectivity to money came from is important. And so I understand that's where it came from. And I had to let that stuff go. I had to let that stuff go. It's okay to talk about money. Money is just a resource. Money is just a resource. God is my source. And when he provides for me financially, he is still my source. But through money, he's the source again. Resource just means source again. So God is my source. Money is a resource, or the source, which is God through money in my life again. So money is just a resource. I remember a good friend and mentor of mine. He was one of my first investors. He passed away, and his name was Wes Savage. And he taught me, he set me down. I forget what restaurant we were in. He said, Joseph, money is a resource like money. I mean, he said, money is a resource like water. It's a resource like air. It's a resource like timber. It's just a resource. You should not be overly excited or so low when the resource is low. Just go get more of the resource. And when he taught it to me like that, the same way you need water to survive, you need air to survive, you need lumber, you need cloth material to survive, you need money to survive. but you don't have a fit when you need some. You just go get some. You don't see water like life and death. You don't. Although it is, you don't see it like that. Although air is life or death, you don't see it like that. So materials are life and death. It's quality of life in the quality and quantity of the materials you have. That's but you don't see it like that. He said, so money is just a resource. You need it. It's quality of life. It's life or death. But Joseph, you can't see it like that. It's just a resource. And when I got a real legitimate revelation of that, my emotions disconnected from it. And I continue to have to work on that. The last few months, just sharing with you guys, I got sick last year in November, and then December, we bought the salon and we bought another semi truck. And because I was sick, I wasn't able to work like at all. I couldn't even really read. My eyes would hurt, my head would hurt. I thought I was going to die. I've never been so sick. I thought I was going to die. That was my first time. Went to the hospital, got some MRIs done. The grace of God, nothing was wrong. But because of those 2 months leading into the beginning of the year, although we made some financial moves with the truck and the salon, it was the next few months were very, 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 very thin. And when I spoke to people and dealt with people and still was doing business, it wasn't like a desperation. I need this next deal. It wasn't like that. But internally, I did battle though. My wife, through the grace of God and just a good chick, held me up and made me feel good and didn't make me feel bad. And then my CFO, his name is Charles. He was in my ear constantly because I was like, "Whoa, God!" So I promise to God, I haven't felt like that in a long time. I was like, do I need to stop? Do I need to quit? Do I need to get a job? Do I need to just let this stuff go? Do I need to say, it was, we didn't have nobody. I had what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 assets and no money coming in on 5 assets. I promise to God. And I was like, just, but money was going out though. I had to pay the bills on all those assets for 4 or 5 months out of our pocket. We went down to almost nothing. And I was like, does this mean I shouldn't be doing this anymore? Should I be quitting everything and just getting a job at McDonald's? It was a rough time, and my emotions was trying to creep back in the space of money. And thanks to Charles, who was in my ear almost all day, every day, like, bro, just trust God. We're gonna get through this, so on and so forth. Which is a good reason to have people around you that's like that. Um, but my point in telling you this is it is a difficult thing sometimes to disconnect your emotions from yourself and from yourself where money is concerned. But you have to learn how to do it because when you chase money, that's when money leaves you. When you try to do business with people and and they smell that you're desperate, trying to just get their money, just get their paycheck, they back away. And so it was a rough time, but I'm, through the grace of God and through years of practice and practicing my faith is important. Practicing my belief and my marketing and my ability to negotiate. Um, we hung in there and we slowly went back to the top and got there, trusting God that it'll be okay. We're gonna get back to the space that we're in. You got to remember that, but it's hard to remember that when your emotions are involved. You don't want to give anymore when your emotions are involved. You don't want to share anymore when your emotions are involved. You start to doubt yourself, and I did. I doubted myself a lot because my emotions were involved. And so one of the things I tell people: not only can you cannot let not only can you not allow your happiness, joy, attitude, confidence to rise and fall with money, you also can't let your confidence rise and fall based on your accomplishments. Sometimes you're going to fail. You can't be unconfident because you fail. So I don't think I'm the bomb because I do everything right. But I also don't think I suck because sometimes it doesn't work. My confidence is my confidence solely because I believe in God first, then I believe in me second. And I know that with God and me, there's not anything that we cannot accomplish. So I don't connect my emotions to money. Um, But anyways, uh, you got to always be searching out new information for making financial decisions. One of the things I always say uh, is your imagination is everything when it comes to finances. I'm I have a vast I have a big imagination when it comes to making money and how I can make money. And knowing how money works helps me with that imagination. Um Most people, and I'll give you an example. This is one of the things that we talked about on Sunday. Let's say you're a married couple and you're about to have your first child, and you say something like this: "Hey, babe, the baby's coming. Let's sit down and decide how can we be creative and make more money, because we're going to need to move. We need a bigger vehicle, and we need to be ready for this baby. What are your ideas, and what are your ideas?" And the crux of your creativity, the height of it is, I know what I'll do. I'll go get another job. You have to be more creative than that. Another job is not the answer. Or people say, I know what I'll do. I'll go get another degree. So this is what I say. If the first job wasn't the answer, why do you think two jobs is the answer? If the first degree wasn't the answer, why do you think the second degree is the answer? Is that the height of your creativity when it comes to making money? But for most people, it is, because of school and corporate America. That's what they taught you. The way money works is trade an hour for $1, and that's how it works. How do I increase the hour? How do I increase the dollar that I make for my hour? I know the only way to increase that dollar for my hour is to get another degree and hope somebody pays me more dollars for my hour. I know I'll go get a second job and I'll make more money over the hours I spend working somewhere. That's the only creativity people have to increasing their income, making more money. And you have to have more creativity than that. And the only way to do that is to put more information in. The more information you put in, the better you are when it comes to your creativity. Um, I tell people all the time, they say, I want to make high six figures, $500,000 a year. I want to get to a point where I don't have to work, all these things. And the first question I ask them is, what information are you putting in? What are you putting in? And are you putting that information in at a very, very, very high rate? If not, you're not going to get there. How many books are you reading about how to make $500,000, $1,000,000? How many books are you reading about how to leave an inheritance for your children? I know that's in the Bible. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. But the Bible doesn't necessarily teach you how to do that. You just kind of magically hope you do. That's wild. And not a lot of pastors are able to teach you how to do it. They're making their money because people are giving it to them for free in offerings, and they're taking their cut. They're taking the rest of the church pastor isn't going to make money like that. Nobody's walking up to them by the thousands and hundreds saying, the Lord told me to give you more money. So you're telling them to give and to pay their tithes, and I'm not here to debate that. Fine, that's in the Bible. What I am saying is, just doing that, just knowing that verse is in there, that a good man leaves an inheritance to their children's children, and you say, I want to be a good man, but I don't know how, so I'm just kind of stuck. And then your imagination says, I know how. I'll try. I'll go out and I'll get a second job or a second degree. Nobody's really teaching you how to do it. You got to teach yourself through the wisdom of God. Go read some books about how to make more money. Go read some books about how to invest. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a book that changed my entire life. I read that book and I was pretty much never broke again. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich changed my life. Cash Flow Quadrant changed my life. Those books are specifically designed to help you with your mindset and help you with your ability to make money. Changed my life. And so you have to put the information in if you want to get the information out. You can only be as creative as the knowledge you have bouncing around in your head. So you got to get around people who are smarter than you, faster than you, stronger than you, has more money than you. You got to get around people who have already left an inheritance, who are leaving an inheritance, so you can learn. And the interesting thing is, when I start talking about this stuff, people get this ego, like they get too prideful to hear what I'm saying. If you're okay being broke, if you're okay dying and can't barely have your family pay for your funeral. If you're okay dying and not leaving the grandbaby something, that's on you. But I'm telling you, listen to what I'm saying. Put it in so it can come out. Go and find books, videos, seminars. I go to so many seminars. I used to go to seminars so much, and now we put them on. But the reality is, that I'm saying is, you have to search out new information so you can make better financial decisions. And those financial decisions are wrapped up in your ability to be creative and your imagination. Um, and doing that is going to help you avoid overestimating or underestimating the power that money really has in your life. Um, Money does have a certain power in your life. Money talks to you, and you don't think that it does, but it does. Money would tell you, hey, you know, you can't get sick. You wake up with that little itchy throat, and money starts saying, hey, you can't go to, you can't take off work today. You can't, because you don't have enough of me. Or money would tell you, man, you don't need nobody. You got money forever and a day. You don't need God. You don't need nobody. If you don't really understand the power that money has in your life, you'll underestimate it or you'll overestimate it. It'll mean too much to you or it'll mean not enough to you. Like, hear what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. You got to think critically when navigating financial problems. One of the things I always say is, I am a financial problem solver. I'm a creative problem solver. I'm not that creative when it comes to throwing a party. My wife would tell you I'm gonna have pizza and chicken wings, and that's about it. Um, I did a little poker night, and we had fun, and some of the fellas was over, and one of my buddies was teasing me because I didn't have much, and my wife, she would make sure she tell him I didn't help plan this party. This is all him, because I'm not very. My imagination sucks when it comes to planning a party. I am not a creative problem solver when it comes to a party. I don't have any real critical thinking. But when it comes to money and solutions, oh my God, I get very creative. My imagination is big. And you've got to be a critical thinker when it comes to financial problems. One of my first mentors, his name is David. He taught me something years ago. He said, Joseph, they call me JT. You said, JT, a problem ain't a problem because it's a problem. A problem is a problem because you don't have the answer for it. And I was like, wow. So from there, I realized if a problem ain't a problem because it's just because it's a problem, it's only called a problem because you don't have the answer. So what I go out and do, because I don't have the answer, I have a problem, I don't have the answer. So what I do is go find other people who have the answer. And magically, my problem disappears because they have the answer. A problem only exists because the answer is void. You guys get that? The only reason that a problem is present, the only reason that a problem is present is because you don't have the answer. So instead of sitting there saying, I know I don't have the answer, I don't have the information, and I haven't read any books, I haven't been to any seminars, I don't hang around with anybody, first you got to say, there's a problem. I don't have the answer for it. I don't know the answer. But let me go and find other people who don't have that problem and see if I can grab some answers for them, work it in my creativity, my critical thinking, and I can get some solutions. It's really simple, but you can't be prideful. You can't be arrogant. You have to be a critical thinker when navigating financial problems. You have to be able to weigh options. You know, there's a verse that talks about how, one of the things, the verse, when I was a child, I thought like a child, I spoke like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. One of the translations say, I reasoned like a child. And when I became a man, I put away childish reasoning. And I watch people in life in general reason like a child. A child says, you hit me, so I'm going to hit you back. That's a child's reasoning. Does that, you guys get that? A child says, I don't have a cookie, so I'm going to steal a cookie. That's a child's reasoning. I hear people on social media with childish reasoning. In this season of my life, and it's horrible when it comes to Christians, I'm going to match energy. That's how children reason. You don't match energy. Are you kidding me? That's so stupid. Or I'm going to be unapologetic about who I am. If who I am is wrong, I apologize. I'm sorry. If what I did was wrong, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm never living my life in an unapologetic way. That's the dumbest thing in the world. So when it comes to money, you cannot reason like a child. A child says, "I don't have enough, so I'm gonna hold on to this money because I don't have enough." That's childish reasoning. The other side of that is, babe, we already don't have enough. We might as well have a pizza party and just go broke and see what God's going to do. That's childish reasoning. Um, I remember I was on my way to church one morning, and I'm the drummer at my church. And I was running a little late that morning. So I'm rushing trying to get to church. And I see this car on the side of the road with a man and his two baby daughters stuck with the hood up. And I was like, man, I'm so sorry for him. I got to get to church. And all I could think about with the verse about the what is that verse? About the Good Samaritan. And they were so busy trying to get to their religious places, they didn't stop to help. And so I was like, man, I can't do that. I turned around. I called the worship leader and I said, hey, look, I know I'm the drummer, but I just passed a family on the side of the road struggling. It's hot. They got the hood up. And I'm going to stop and help them. So I won't be there on time to play the drums for you guys. And that's not childish reasoning. Childish reasoning would have been like, I don't care about them. I got to play the drums today. Mm-mm. So dealing with your finances is the same way. You know, I'm a little short, so I'm not going to be a blessing to so and so if God drops it in my heart to do that. Childish reasoning. I'm still going to give. I'm still going to give. I'm going to give without worrying about my money. And that's not easy sometimes, but you know, to be able to weigh your options financially is so very important. Knowing how to make those decisions and not to reason like a child when you're making decisions. Because again, so many adult people reason like a child when they're weighing their options financially. Shoot, everything maritally, but anyway, it's another conversation. I'm talking about finances right now. You cannot. People steal when they're weighing their options and they're reasoning like a child. People lie when they're weighing their options and reasoning like a child. People do shady things. That's reasoning like a child. When you're weighing your options, I can either, you know, take this from this person, or I can tell the truth. I don't have it, and I need you to be patient with me. But you gotta as you're weighing your options, you have to reason like an adult, like a mature person financially. And some of you may not be mature financially. Get around people who are. I on purpose surround myself with people who have more money than I do on purpose. And we're doing good. We're doing good. But I try to be the smallest guy in the room. So when I have to when I have to get creative financially, I have a lot of data to pull from because of the men and women I'm around. When it's time to weigh my options of what can I do, what should I do, what should I not do, I have a lot of data to pull from when I'm weighing those options. Um, you have to be able to evaluate and know facts from truth. You know, and one of the things I said, we're talking about money right here, but again, this works everywhere. The fact is a certain thing, but the truth is something different. So I'll give you an example, and it's an extreme example. Yeah, you go to the doctor, and they look at your X-rays or whatever, and you have a terminal ailment. And the fact is, based on the data, based on the information, based on the fact is you only have 2 or 3 months to live. But that may not be the truth. The truth is you'll live the next 5 years. God knows the truth. So when you're connected to God and something bigger than you, Being able to know the difference between truth and fact is very, very important. The fact is, in November and December, I got sick. The fact is, we didn't have any money coming in. The fact is, I was spending what, I don't know, between 5 and 7 grand a month, not including my house. This was just our assets. And the fact is, you can't keep doing this, Joseph. The truth is, we did it for 6 months in a row. I can't tell you how. Grace of God. Knowing the truth from the facts are so very important. The truth is, you can do it. The fact is, where you come from doesn't support that you can do it. The truth is, you can be a millionaire. The fact is, where you come from, nobody is. So how can it happen? The truth is, you can be full of Jesus Christ, love God, and be a millionaire. That's the truth. The facts are, a lot of people get money and get stingy, selfish, shady, so on and so forth. Knowing the facts versus knowing the truth is so very important. And it's hard to do that if you're not a critical thinker that knows how to weigh and see the world from a mature reasoning place. I'll finish the rest of these next week. Anyhow, God bless y'all. Reach out to me in the DMs if you need anything. The last Saturday of this month, we're doing our investor meetup luncheon again, and the flyer's on my page. God bless you, and I will talk to you guys next time.